morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a whole week since I last did a live stream. Did you realise? Did you realise that? Well, it is. It is. So, I've been so busy this week. I'm recording episodes of Cold Case Christmas. I've now done 8 episodes. They're all there, waiting to just miraculously appear. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, Cold Case Christmas season 3 starts tomorrow over on my other channel, Michelle Walks, and a different cold case, either missing person or an unsolved murder, will come out every single day from tomorrow, the 1st of December, up to and including the 24th of December. And there may or may not be some bonus episodes as well coming out as well. So they come out at 6 p.m. my time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern each day. So, yeah, starting tomorrow. I'm so excited. I think I've got some really good cases, really interesting cases. I've just been so engrossed in recording them, and then I have to edit them, so it's a bit annoying. Anyhow, I want to talk about Jack O'Sullivan today. So I've done a few live streams on Jack O'Sullivan, but there has been some new information that's come out this week. It's nothing that could lead people to finding Jack, unfortunately. He's still missing, but I thought I'd update. And you know, it's I've not talked about Jack's case for a while now, so it's a good time to do it. Sugar or sugar free? What are we talking about, Mike? The can that I just opened, Pepsi Max. So is that sugar free? Fake sugar? But yeah, so I'll go through the whole case. I think that'll help if you've no idea who I'm talking about. But if you do know who I'm talking about, then it'll be a reminder. Let's say a couple of hellos first, though. Hello, Mike, and we've also got Dark Willow down under with love. Good morning, good morning. It's afternoon for me. It's 3 p.m. 15:04 it is for me. Hello, Naomi Rose and Mary D. Angie Baby, good afternoon to you. Thunder Horse, Pincho, Spanish Angel, Rue, Light the Way, Broken Goth Doll, Shazza. Who else? I'm Osland, Journey Takes a Trip, Right Fields, Jenna, Criminal Meth, hello to you, Rexy, Cassie. A few people coming in. Alrighty. First, I struggled to understand Michelle. Now I'm seasoned and understand every word. Good stuff. Is it my accent or what? I assume so. All right, so we're going to talk about Jack. And what to start? I've got 3 articles I want to show you. And I've got the map as well. All right. We'll start with this. Because this does the timeline. All right, let me share my screen here. So Jack has been missing from Bristol in the UK. So I know there's Bristol in Tennessee, but this is Bristol in the UK. It's in the southwest. And it's quite a few miles away from me. It's right down the other side of the country. All right. But Jack's case, I mean, look, it was really slow going. You know, if you think about how quickly Jay Slater's case took off, do you remember in the summer? Jack, it's kind of like being one of those slow burners, but it has had quite a lot of coverage now. It's not like he's on the news every night. It's not another Nicola Bulley situation. There's no drama in his case. I think that's the issue. No drama. So, you know, people don't want to know if there's no drama. But it's had national coverage. And in October, Jack's case appeared on Crimewatch. Crimewatch is a show that has been running. Crimewatch has been running years, like the 1980s it was running. So, you know, it's a BBC Crimewatch. It's one of the most often watched crime programs in the UK. So, yeah. So I'm going to read this, and this is what the cops said after. So this is from Avon and Somerset Police. They did an update when Jack's case appeared on Crimewatch. So we've made a new appeal for information on BBC One's Crimewatch Live Today show, Monday 7th of October, as part of our ongoing investigation into missing 23-year-old Jack O'Sullivan. So he's 22 when he went missing in March, but he's now 23. Detective Inspector Jason Chidley, I can never say this. I've tried to say that before. I'm just going to call him Jason, appeared on the programme to make a renewed public appeal to help us with the search for Jack, who was last seen in the Hotwells area of Bristol in the early hours of Saturday, 2nd of March. Jack's originally from North Somerset, had been making his way home following a night out with friends when he went missing. The last likely sighting of Jack was at 3:38 a.m. walking along Bennett Way Slip Road. And don't worry, don't know these places. I'm going to get the map up in a second. We're just kind of doing the background here. On the Cumberland Basin Network, which is like you'll see it in a minute. So Jason said on the show, Jack had attended a house party on the 2nd of March after leaving his home address on the 1st of March to meet with his friends. We know he left the address and tried to get a taxi. We are sure he was minded to make his way home. Jason explained how Jack had been seen walking along Brunel Lock Road before walking onto a green space below Brunel Way. There were 2 sightings, which are both likely to be Jack, on the Plimsoll Bridge and then on Bennett Way. I'm not going to play that. Last time I played a Crimewatch clip, I got copyrighted, so I'm not going to bother. He added, it was a particularly cold night after a mild week in Bristol, and it snowed. It would have been very cold, icy, and there was snow on the ground. Bristol City played Cardiff that afternoon, which is football. Soccer for you guys in the United States. So I'm guessing that Bristol City and Cardiff are like rivals because they're not too far away from each other. So imagine there's some rivalry there. But I don't even know if that's relevant. But we are hoping that those 2 events might trigger something for somebody to come forward and provide us with more information. Like there may have been more people around than there usually would be. But then again, you know, the football would have been in the day. This was in the early hours of the following day. The family has shown tremendous resilience over the past 7 months since Jack went missing. Now, remember, this is from October, so we're now into almost December. We have utilised an awful lot of units inside our organisation to give them the answers they so desperately need. and we are hoping someone can come forward with new information. Since Jack's disappearance, more than 20 different Avon and Somerset teams and departments have been involved in the investigation. They have additionally been supported by other agencies and emergency services, such as the Fire and Ambulance Service, National Police Air Service, the lifeboat people, HM Coast Guard, and independent search and digital experts. Since the start of the investigation, there has been more than 100 hours of CCTV collated and renewed multiple times by different officers. Now, the CCTV was a very sore subject because his mother, she appealed to the police to release the CCTV footage to her so she could look through it. Because the search got off to a bad footing, a really bad footing. Like the day Jack was, that his family reported him missing, like one of the police officers had said, oh, well, he's in the river, you're never going to see him again. Like really blasé. So Catherine, his mother, like really, really badgered the police to release the CCTV to her. And they did eventually. They did. And she found some additional sightings, which would possibly indicate, if they are Jack, would indicate that he's not in the river at all, that he walked in the opposite direction. And the police hadn't realised. But anyhow, we know that now. More than 200 hours of searches on the river and the surrounding banks by the police dive team. 90 police searches from Bristol city centre to Flaxburton, including the Ashton Court estate and Long Ashton. Now, again, I'm going to show you the map in a minute. Jack lived in Flaxburton, which is like a village a few miles to the southwest of Bristol. So if he couldn't get a taxi and he started to walk, he would likely have walked, obviously, to Flaxburton, because that's where he lived. So they searched all along that road. Like one of the theories was maybe he was hit, like, a hit and run. And maybe it was somebody who didn't even realise he'd hit a human being. They may have just felt a bump, thought they hit a deer or something, if they're not paying attention, as many people don't, especially like in the middle of the night, or they knew full well they hit a human, but they're not going to go forward, maybe because they were drunk. I don't know. But it was one theory that he'd been the victim of a hit and run. So they searched all along like the banks and the verges along the road, the entire road between Bristol and Flaxburton, with dogs, with horses. And unless he crawled like really inland into the woods, then he's not there. He's just not there. More than 40 land searches. Our drone unit has been deployed 16 times during the search carried out today. More than 120 calls from the public with possible sightings. But there has been a claim just this week, actually, that some of the tips that people are sending in are being dismissed, that are not being, I don't know whether they're not being taken seriously. I don't know. We've also sought reviews from independent agencies such as the National Crime Agency and experts such as oceanographers and independent police search advisors. Sadly, despite the efforts carried out today, we've been unable to find Jack. If you've missed the appeal on Crimewatch Live, you can watch it here. I'm not going to play it again. I'll get copyrighted. You may have been driving into or out of the Bristol city centre in a taxi, personal car or a bus, or you could have been on foot and walking in a similar area to Jack in the early hours of Saturday, March the 2nd. If you haven't yet spoken to police and have information, we want to hear from you. If you've got any doorbell, dash cam, CCTV or phone footage from that night, which could have Jack in it, please contact us as well. If you've got any information, please call 101 and quote reference 522 405 5172 or complete our online appeals form. And I have put a link to this in the description box. So if you click on it, if you do have something to write in, you can click on that and write it in, if you'd rather write it in than ringing. For some answers to frequently asked questions about our investigation into Jack's disappearance, please click on this link, which will take you to the appeal we issued to mark the 6-month anniversary of his disappearance. So I think I talked about his case around that time. Okay, so that's what the police said. I think that's the most recent police update. So that was in October. Now, there is a Facebook page called Find Jack, and at last count, it had over, I think it was up to 86,000 people in that Facebook group. And it is, his mother writes in it, it's drama-free, you know, it's a decent group. But the media, obviously, they're basically taking all the information that they have about Jack's case from that group, because there's been 2 things that have come up in the group in the last week that have now both found their way into the national media, which is not a bad thing, but you know, it's just like social media is very much leading the charge here. You know, if it wasn't for social media, Jack's case would never have had any national attention. It certainly would not be continuing to have the attention that it's getting at the moment. So social media is leading the charge here. All right, so this is Bristol. All right, let me zoom out a little bit here. All right, so there's Bristol. So it's in the southwest. There's Wales. Zoom back in. So, why has Flax Burton got like a... Why have they deleted the entirety of Flax Burton? What's that about? I don't know. But anyway, so if Jack couldn't get a taxi and he decided to walk, then there's one route to Flax Burton. I mean, yeah, you could go over the fields, I guess, but why would you? Because there's a road that goes straight to it. So if Jack had started to walk, then this is his most probable route. But the entire stretch of that road, I think it's about 5 miles, has been searched. Like the verges, the banks, all of it has been searched. Like I said before, with the possibility that he could have been the victim of a hit and run. But it's looking a lot less likely now that entire area has been searched. Okay, so let's zoom in. And Jack was at a house party here. This is Hotwells, the Hotwells area. So this is Hotwells Road. Now, I don't know exactly which house it was, so I've just kind of put my pin on the road, like not at the precise house. So that's where he was at. All right, and we'll go through the timings shortly. I've got all the timings in, but so he leaves. Right, he texts his mother, texts his family to say that he's going to get a taxi home. He leaves this house just before 3 a.m. with the idea of getting a taxi. And it appears that he couldn't get a taxi. Now, whether that's because it was just an unusually busy night, maybe with the football being on in the day, more people out in the city centre maybe. So he starts walking and he walks down here and along here. This is the basin, Cumberland Basin that I mentioned before. So this is that's the River Avon, I think it's called. Okay, so he comes under here and then is seen on CCTV several times in this area. So before Jack's mother got hold of it and highlighted more places where Jack could be, again, none of them are absolutely clear, but originally the last sighting was thought to have been on this green space here. So you come down this ramp, across the road, and you can get onto this green space just before 3:15. But his mother found more sightings. So the last sighting on CCTV was up here. Now, look, before Catherine O'Sullivan, got the CCTV, the police were, I'm guessing, just ready to assume that somehow Jack was in the water. Because if that's the last sighting that they thought at 3:13, and we've got this river, like a very silted up river, so that's the River Avon. I think that's the canal. So you've got the canal basin and you've got the River Avon coming here. So you've got water either side of this green space. So, you know, the police take one look at that and think, oh, a young man, 22 years old, been to a house party, probably drunk, maybe some drugs on board as well. Oh, he's fallen in the water. And that was it. That was it. However, there were further sightings, one on Plimsoll Bridge. So this is walking away. And then the last sighting here at 3:38. So he's right the way over the other side. Now, around this time, he'd tried to call his friend, and who was still at the party, and she didn't answer. But a few minutes later, she called him back, and he answered and said hello, and then nothing. The line was open for like almost a minute with nothing. How bizarre is that? You know, was he confronted? Did he drop his phone? What happened? What happened? Yeah, tunnel vision. Yeah, tunnel vision. Police are good at that. So when his parents realised that he'd not come home, they checked their live 360 or equivalent. Right? They've got like, you know, one of those family things where you can track at each other's phones. And Jack's phone was live. Jack's phone was transmitting a GPS signal until 6:44. So 6:45. So the last sighting is here at 3:38, but Jack's phone was still on and transmitting a signal until 6:44 on Granby Road here. So we pop down to Granby Road, whatever it's called. Granby Hill, I think it's called. So this is Granby Hill, and it's a lot of like apartments, like probably student apartments. So Jack's phone was here on this road at 6:44, not in the river. So the police need to explain that, don't they? Well, they haven't. So the latest update is from Jack's family, who have once again been proactive and have got Jack's phone data. So they wrote to Jack's phone provider because the police wouldn't give it. So they wrote to Jack's phone provider, EE, I think it is, and they eventually provided the entire phone data. So Jack's family have got their own digital experts to analyse Jack's phone data. So this is in the Bristol Live, which is a local paper, but this has been picked up nationally. And I remember seeing this just a couple of days ago in the Facebook group, and the press have picked up on it, which is good, They also picked up on this. This is the Mail Online, which was also in the Facebook group earlier this week. Mother of missing student Jack O'Sullivan accuses police of dismissing reported sightings of her son as they made their mind up where he is. Yeah, this is what Catherine O'Sullivan has been saying, that, you know, the tips that people are ringing in, people that the cops are not following up on them, which, if it's true, it's pretty bad. If it's true, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. There's his family. So that's Jack, his dad, his mother, Catherine, and his brother. She's an absolute warrior. Catherine O'Sullivan is an absolute warrior. She reminds me a lot of Candice Cooley. Do you know Dylan Rounds' mother? Like, she will not let it go. So I thought this was really interesting. It's not come up with anything, but I think they're on the right lines. So after they've got their own digital experts to analyse Jack's phone data, they've come up with some potential locations of where his phone most likely went after it stopped signalling on Granby Hill. Right, its GPS last signalled at 6:44. So I'll read this article here. It's not a long one. So they've had metal detectors trying to find his phone. Because, look, you know, if they can find some evidence of Jack, something, anything of Jack, it gives them that extra clue. And the more clues they have, the better, obviously. So, family of missing Bristol student Jack O'Sullivan started a new search program involving metal detectorists looking for his phone and other clues. They need a dog like Cassie. Cassie can find a phone. Jack, 23, vanished after being last seen 3:15 a.m. See, they're still saying 3:15. 3:38 was the last likely sighting. I'll show you the CCTV as well in a second. You know, you can't 100% say that every single sighting was Jack. You can't, and that's one downside of, like, some of the CCTV was so, you know, at a distance, but it's still likely, very likely, that Jack was alive and well after 3:15. And the phone being on Granby Hill at 6:44, well, why? If Jack had just fallen in the river, how had his phone got to Granby Hill? How? Somebody had to take it there. Phones just don't grow legs or wings and fly. Campaign group helping the family has now revealed that a team of detectorists been searching an area following recent findings. The findings being the results of the independent phone data analysis. It's unclear what those findings are, but phone company EE recently gave his family data about his missing phone. So many adverts on this paper. Family friend and one of the campaign leaders, Jane Capel, I think she's one of the admins in the group, revealed details of the new search on the Find Jack Facebook page. She posted, "We're very conscious that we've been unusually quiet, for apologies for that. There are things happening in the background, and while we can't go into too much detail, we are keen to share. As a result of some of the recent findings, so the phone findings, we have a search program that started 2 weeks ago and will continue into December." Did they get more pings? They got the phone ping data from the phone provider. So I don't know exactly what they got that has led them into a certain direction. I don't know, but it comes from Jack's phone provider. So it's not like a phone tower dump. It's from Jack's phone provider. So whether it does give them different locations, I assume so, because they're out there searching for the phone. There was a large-scale search 2 weeks ago involving a team of technicians with metal detectors. Pretty much the whole day was spent searching for any trace of Jack's phone or any other of his possessions that could have been picked up by their equipment. Despite some heroic efforts and a lot of ground covered, nothing was found. Some of this team will be joining the dog handlers who will be back to cover the remaining areas over the course of several weekends in the run-up to the end of the year. We aren't able to be specific on the target areas for obvious reasons. We're sure you'll understand the reasons why not. Absolutely, we understand. Everything we're doing is planned and coordinated. So while we really appreciate that some people want to do mass organised public searches, right now it wouldn't be right due to the technical specialist searches happening. I know Catherine, Alan and Ben want to extend their thanks for your help in getting them this far. And also, if you're out walking, they ask you to be extra vigilant and search where you can, as safely as you can. And on behalf of us admins, thank you for your patience, support, encouragement, and downright tenacity. We wouldn't be anywhere without you and the people involved in our searches today, such generous, warm-hearted, and kind people. Thank you. So I think that's really positive. Whether it will... Look, it's so difficult. Show you the CCTV. It's so difficult because, you know, even if they find Jack's phone, yes, it's an extra clue, but it doesn't mean Jack was there, does it? Somebody could have taken that phone. Somebody could have found the phone and then, you know, thrown it away once they realised that it was potentially belonging to a missing person. You don't know. People just think weird things, don't they? But look, if it hadn't been for Catherine O'Sullivan getting the additional CCTV and now getting the additional phone information from the phone provider, the police and certainly the mainstream media just wouldn't be talking about Jack. They just would not be talking about Jack at all. So it's really positive. But we'll go through this map. The Mail Online have got this decent map here. All right, so 152. Texts his mother to say he's getting a taxi to his home in Flaxburn. So that's Hotwells Road. Then he's seen on CCTV. So this is the first time he's seen on CCTV. And this is one of the clearer images. And, you know, I think probably anybody who knows Jack would know that is Jack. So Humphrey Davy Way. So he's just about to get across the bridge. So 253 captures him on the Junction Swing Bridge, which is here. Then 257 Brunel Lock Road. So you can hardly see that one. Well, oh, don't know what happened here. What's this thing that's just happened? All right, so these adverts that are playing in the background, messing me up. I'll tell you what we'll do. No, I won't. I was going to say I'll share it via the window, so it's easy to zoom in. But you can see the tiniest of figures there at 257, and you wouldn't even notice that person had you not had this more definite sighting at 253. So just 4 minutes later, it makes sense that he's going to be seen over the other side of the bridge. Then at 3:08, so 11 minutes later, again, a more definite sighting there. So same clothes. And that's where he's entering the green space below Brunel Way. Then at 3:17, he's on Brunel Way. So he's left the green space. Now he's making his way back up. 3:25, crossing the Plimsoll Swing Bridge. And then 3:39. Some people say 3:38, some say 3:39. The last sighting is on Bennett Way. And then the phone is transmitting a GPS signal, the last signal being at 6:44 a.m. on Granby Hill. So look, it makes sense. He's gone in a circle. It makes sense for all of those sightings to be Jack, because he's walking in this circle. At around this time where he's about here, he calls his friend who's still at the party. Presumably that would have been, I can't get a taxi. And maybe he was saying, maybe he was going to say, I can't get a taxi, I'm going to come back. Maybe because it was cold and it was snow on the ground, maybe he didn't want to walk. You know, I'd have just walked it. You know, I'd have just walked it 5 miles at 22. I'd have just walked it. But maybe he was ringing his friend to say, are you still at the party? I'm going to come back because I can't get a taxi. And she didn't pick up. And then a few minutes later, when she realised, she rang him back and Jack said hello, but then there was nothing, just an open line, but just with silence. So what on earth? But it all makes sense that he's gone in this circle. He's ended up here and then walked up here. And I think he was going round to get back here. But I don't know. I don't know. See if there's any clearer CCTV. So there's Granby Hill. That's on the swing bridge. I've got very good... hold on. I mean, that one, you can hardly make out that there's anybody there. Because the camera's so far away. So we can't say 100% for certainty that these figures that are so far away are Jack. You can't tell what colour the clothes are or anything. But it is intriguing. It does make sense based on the path he's taking and based on how long it takes to walk from each one of these points to the rest. Like, people have walked it. Loads of people have walked the route and timed it out, and it's all consistent. So if Jack is in the river, how did his phone get on Granby Hill? So I think the next logical step, and I'm so glad that, you know, they've done this now, they've been able to do this, is to try to... Noodle's just been sick. What are you doing? You've been eating grass again, haven't you? Oh, Noodle. Oh, Noodle. Don't eat it. You don't eat it either. They're both looking at this. It's only a little bit. They're both looking at it like, yum, yum. Ugh, gross. So yeah, I'm glad that it's the next logical step. I mean, I'd love to know where they're searching, but they certainly absolutely should not make it public. Look, if foul play did happen, let's just say, if foul play did happen and, they've buried Jack's body somewhere and his phone's in that area as well, we don't want a lot of people tramping around, and we certainly don't want to alert the perpetrator or perpetrators to the possibility that they're going to get found out. So absolutely not. This stuff needs to be, on a strictly need to know basis. But it's a city. It's not. It's huge. But the thing is, like where Jack was, it's right on the edge of the city. So, if something nefarious did happen, then you've got plenty of places where potentially you could hide a body. There's big woods there. The National Trust Lee Woods. You've got a lot of farmland. So it's, very possible for something, really bad to have happened and Jack has been hidden somewhere. So, where's the new location? They haven't said. And I think that's a good thing. We don't want those locations that are currently being searched, and because they are locations that people just haven't looked at a map and thought, right, I'll search there next. It's not a fishing expedition, so to speak. These are targeted searches based on the results of the phone data analysis. So these are very targeted, and I don't think those locations should be publicised. Not until they've, thoroughly been absolutely 100%, cleared. And then it's not the end of the world then if those locations get leaked. Why does Flax Burton have like an entire block? Like, why is Flax Burton been deleted off the map? What's this about? It wasn't like that last time. Oh, there we go. Flax Burton does exist. The entirety of Flax Burton have been deleted. So Flax Burton is just a little village. So again, that's where Jack lives. So that would be where he was headed to if he did decide to walk home. But then, you've got these big ponds, whatever they are, lakes. To the south and the west of Bristol, you've pretty much got woods, farmland. It's pretty rural, semi-rural, I would imagine. So lots of places where they could hide a body or hide evidence without being seen. So, yeah. Wonder whether the Fiat Abarth has been tracked. Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know. So there was a suspicious car that was seen around the same time that Jack was there. around this area. And there was an appeal for that driver to come forward, but not as far as I know. Now, the police might have information that they've not released. So, don't know. How far is it from where his phone last pinged to the address of the Hotwells Road? Not far at all. So there's Granby Hill. Now, again, I don't know the exact address, so I've just put my pin like anywhere. But there's Granby Hill. So his phone was at an address, one of these houses. And then Hotwells Road is just here. This is Hotwells Road. So if Jack was going to go back to the party, he could have walked up Granby Hill, chucked a right, and he's now on Hotwells Road. Or he could have gone down there. But as his phone was on Granby Hill, we would imagine if Jack was still with his phone, he's walked up Granby Hill, he's gone right, and he's gone back to Hotwells Road, which is there. So very close. So it makes sense that potentially he was heading back to the party. And, you know, he's just walked in a circle. And he was going to head back to the party. But what happened? Where did he go? What happened to him? Because if he did get as far as Granby Hill, he's not in the river. And if Jack's in the river and his phone isn't, well, that's even more suspicious. How's his phone not in the river if he's in the river? Did he drop his phone whilst falling? And then someone picked it up and then realised that, oh, this is potentially a phone from a missing person. I'm going to get accused of murder, and therefore I'm just going to get rid of the phone and not say anything. Because what happened to that phone after 6:44? So it's an interesting development that you know, they've got metal detectorists out trying to find the phone. They need a Cassie. So they need Cassie to go to find the phone. They need a few Cassies. Loads of dogs, though, that will find electrical equipment because it smells very, I don't know, unique to dogs. So many dogs that are trained now to find electrical equipment like SD cards and things like that, you know, to catch pedos. You know, a dog can search an entire house and find every electrical thing. I think it's the smell of the chip. So it's not the device itself, it's the chip, I think, that they smell. Was the river searched? Yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything because river searches are notoriously difficult. So apparently they did 200 hours searching the river and the banks, but it's very silted up. This is the issue, that if somebody did fall into this river, it's so silty that they're likely to like sink into it and not be picked up by sonar. Once they've sunk into the silt, they're no longer going to be picked up, not easily anyway, by sonar. And it's a few miles to the sea. It's not far to the sea. I don't know at what point this river becomes tidal. I would have said He's in the river. Don't look any further than the river. He's in the river. Except for the phone. How can the phone be on Granby Hill if Jack's in the river? Unless he dropped his phone and somebody picked it up. So it's cool that dogs can smell electronics. It is. It's very cool. Do you want to watch Cassie do it? All right, we'll do this one. Cassie the Canine, find my iPhone 3 rapid rounds. Oh, you won't be able to hear the audio. Hold on, I'm going to have to do this to share the audio. All right, we'll do this. All right, round one. That's Noodle's handiwork. Every time I go outside, there's more holes. All right, so what I do is I go and hide the phone, like just somewhere random. And then she goes to find it. I hide it around the back of the shed. No, I'll do it here. Has she found the phone? Good girl. There he is. Good girl. Wait there a second or two. Oh, Cassie's here. She's heard her word. She's heard find the phone. She's wagging. Where's the phone? Find the phone. 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 She's going nuts. It's harder in the living room because there's phone scent everywhere. Find the phone. Not there. Find the phone. There he is. Yeah, good girl. She got him. There he is. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She got him. There he is. Good girl. Let's do one more outside. Shall we do one more? Let's do one more. Okay. Yes. Play a game in a minute. Do a big walk around. Yes. Yes, we'll do it in a minute. When she realises that we're going out the gate, she'll give a toss about the phone. Do you want to learn to do it, Noodle? Find the phone. She doesn't give a toss about the phone. Now she's outside. Find the phone. It's like, no, I can't be asked. Cassie. Oi. Cassie. Find the phone.
There he is. Good girl.
She just did not want to do that.
Come on, this way. Oi. This way.
Come on. More interested in cats and hedgehogs. That was in the summer when there was the campaign against hedgehogs. Cassie had this thing about hedgehogs. She's trying to rid the world of every single hedgehog. She didn't manage it. So yeah, they need some sniffer dogs. Sniffer dogs. Detective Cassie on the job. You like how the other dog just observes? What, Noodle? Yeah. Yeah, Noodle, I don't think wants a job. He doesn't want a job. Anyway, I've got to go. Cassie's gonna just bug me now. We've got to go and play a game now. We've got to go and play and find the phone because she's heard the command, so she's on it. She's on it. I don't know if you can hear her. Does she kill hedgehogs? No. She tried. She got her mouth round one, and then immediately thought, no, maybe not. And the hedgehog was fine. The hedgehog doesn't care. The hedgehog is just like, all right, you can try to fit me in your mouth if you want, but you're going to get hurt. So no, she won't kill hedgehogs. Hedgehogs are they're quite vulnerable now, aren't they? I don't think they're endangered, but they are very vulnerable. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I just thought I'd hop on and give you that update. So sad. So sad. All right, guys. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. And thanks as always to the mods. Don't know if I got any donations. I don't think I did. Did I? Hold on, just let me check. No, I don't think I did. But anyway, thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. There'll be most likely a recorded video on this channel tomorrow. And don't forget, Cold Case Christmas over on Michelle Walks. Episode 1, Season 3 will come out tomorrow at 6 p.m. UK time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and then whatever that is in your local time. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.